Most people don't realize the moment they lost their freedom, it wasn't taken from them. They gave it away, quietly, gradually, without ever noticing it happening. Right now, you are being watched, not by a person, by an idea. And the worst part is, you agreed to it. You adjust how you speak. You filter what you say. You rehearse reactions before they happen. Not because someone is watching, but because someone might be. And that might is enough to control you. This is the most efficient prison ever designed, because there are no guards. Only you. Centuries ago, a structure was imagined, a circular prison, cells arranged around a single tower. From that tower, a single observer could watch every prisoner. But here's the twist. The prisoners could never see the observer. They never knew when they were being watched, only that they could be. So eventually, they stopped taking chances. They sat straighter, spoke less, behaved better. Not because they were forced to, because uncertainty replaced freedom. The observer didn't need to exist. The possibility was enough, and that changed everything. Because the moment you believe you might be watched, you start watching yourself. Every movement becomes calculated. Every word becomes filtered. Every action becomes a performance. And slowly, you stop being real. You become acceptable. That design had a name, but it doesn't matter what it was called, because it no longer exists as a building. It exists inside you. Walk into any room. Watch how people behave. Notice the hesitation before someone speaks honestly. Notice the way people laugh, slightly controlled. Notice how opinions are softened before they're shared. No one says exactly what they think, not fully, not anymore, because somewhere in their mind there's an invisible audience, judging, recording, waiting. Now look at yourself. When was the last time you said something without calculating how it would be received? When was the last time you acted without imagining how it would look? Think about that carefully, because this is where the control becomes invisible. You don't need rules anymore. You don't need authority. You don't need punishment. You've already internalized all of it. You edit yourself before anyone else can. You silence yourself before anyone else needs to. You correct yourself automatically. And that's where power becomes absolute, because the system no longer has to control you. You do it for them. You become both the prisoner and the guard. And there's something deeply dangerous about that. Because when you're the one enforcing the rules, you stop questioning them. You stop resisting. You stop noticing the cage. It just feels like normal life. People call this maturity. They call it discipline. They call it social awareness. But look closer. Because there's a difference between control and conditioning, between awareness and fear, between choosing your actions and preemptively restricting them. Most people don't see that line until it's too late, until they realize they haven't been fully themselves in years, until they notice every decision has been shaped, not by what they wanted, but by how it would appear. That's the cost. Not punishment, not pain, but erosion. The slow removal of spontaneity. The quiet death of authenticity, all traded for the illusion of safety. And here's the part most people never confront. What if no one was ever watching? What if the audience you fear doesn't exist in the way you think it does? What if the judgment you anticipate is mostly imagined? Because if that's true, then every time you held back, every time you filtered yourself, every time you chose the acceptable version of you, you weren't being controlled, you were controlling yourself. And that realization is uncomfortable because it means the cage isn't locked, the door was never shut. You just stopped trying to open it. So now ask yourself something honestly. If the watcher disappeared completely, if there were no consequences, no judgment, no invisible audience, who would you be? And more importantly, what's stopping you from being that person right now?